Empowering yourself. Being an administrative supporter leaves plenty of room for empowering yourself. Oftentimes you are expected to act independently, make decisions, and resolve issues with little or no guidance. In this topic, you are going to learn how to empower yourself through assertiveness, consensus building, conflict resolution, and decision making. Being assertive. Being assertive does not mean you have to be pushy. Assertive is defined as being confidently aggressive, selfish, or positive. When you are an administrative assistant, you will encounter times you will have to be assertive. This means pushing back and being clear on what you need to get done. Here are some tips we call the 5 B's to becoming or demonstrating more assertiveness in your work life. Number 1. Be involved in the conversation. When you make a decision or state an opinion, include yourself in the state. For example, you might say, "I disagree," or "I have a different point of view." You might say, "I like the idea," or "I think this is great." In any case, place yourself in the conversation. Number 2. Be brief. Being to the point demonstrates confidence in what you are saying. When you say too much, people will lose focus and tend to question you. This is true also for written communication like email. Giving too much detail weakens your message. Avoid this if you can. Number 3. Be positive with your body language. We spoke earlier about body language. Negative body language sends a message of low confidence. Make good eye contact and be willing to engage in dialogue, even if it is a difficult discussion. Number 4. Be direct. If you beat around the bush or try to find other ways to say things, this will affect your assertiveness. Do not be afraid to be direct. Be tactful in how you say it, but mumbling and grasping for the right words constantly show lack of confidence. Number 5. Be calm in conflict. Don't lose your cool. Conflict is a normal part of work life. Knowing this will help you react with calmness. If we are easily rocked by conflict, you will lose your assertiveness because you will want to avoid conflict at all costs. Being assertive takes time to develop, so practice a little at a time. You want to avoid becoming a Sherman tank and run everyone over. This is the extreme, and it could affect your ability to gain consensus. We will discuss this later. Resolving conflict. Conflict is normal, and most of us are passionate about our beliefs. We want so much to achieve our goals that sometimes we go right into conflict. The first thing in conflict resolution is to know that it will happen. Avoiding conflict is also unhealthy as it leads to harboring emotion and passive aggressiveness. It is better to engage in conflict and then move on to resolving the issue or gaining consensus. There are 2 stages to conflict resolution. First, we need to contain the damage, and second, we have to move to a resolution. For now, let's focus on damage control. The biggest enemy to conflict resolution is time. Do not let time pass. Give some time for the emotion to settle and then engage that person as soon as you can. Call them, send an email, or walk over to their area. Be the bigger one of the 2 and make the first move. When you find the person, ask them if now is a good time to talk, as they may still be upset. If they are still upset, set up a time later that day to meet with them, and if they are okay with you being there, then follow the steps to mending the relationship. Conflict identified. State the issues or activities that made the encounter become heated. You might say, "I think we lost track of the purpose of that meeting," or "I believe we have strong viewpoints on the subject." Address the other party's concern. You might say, "I know you are not in favor of the issue, and I respect that." Listen to them. Use your best listening skills and let them vent about the situation. Mend relationships. Tell the person that your relationship with them is important and you value them. Apologize or at least leave on good terms. During this time, you may want to avoid the issue that caused the conflict in the first place. Leave that for a different time. For now, your goal is to patch the relationship. Later, you will try to build consensus in order to move forward beyond the conflict. If you experience a group conflict, perform the same technique. Get them back in the meeting room, let them vent, and get things out respectfully. Take notes and adjourn the meeting for a later time to build consensus at the group level. Building consensus. Consensus is defined as a general agreement or concord. Sometimes we view consensus as total agreement. This is not the goal of building consensus. It takes negotiating and problem solving. You may run into problems with your peers or project team in getting everyone on board on an idea, or you may be resolving a conflict. In any case, building a consensus is a skill worth developing. To build consensus, use the peace technique. Problem defined. It is difficult to build consensus when you do not know what you are trying to overcome or achieve. Define the problem as a goal to achieve, have the participants give you the goals, and encourage those who are not participating to do so. Remember, you have to get a general agreement from them all. Everyone vents thoughts respectfully. You will find that people will want to say things against opposing ideas. Encourage them to frame their venting positively and allow them to do it. Alternative solutions explored. Have the participants come up with various solutions for the problem, then reduce the alternatives to a short list. Choices made. Before this is done, make sure everyone agrees that the alternative selected is the best for the team, and they will support it. Make the choice. Everyone agrees to support the solution. Get everyone's approval verbally and publicly in the meeting room before you adjourn. Building consensus takes time and could happen over several meetings, depending on the complexity of the issue. Nonetheless, bringing the team back to the table to reach a consensus should never stop. If your role in the team is too involved, you may want to get someone who is not a part of the team to help facilitate the consensus building. Avoid getting the vice president or some other high-ranking employee. This will shoot the process down. They have to feel comfortable venting without any restrictions. Making decisions. Many times, we are faced with situations that require us to choose among other options. Most of us want to make the right decision. However, we do not want to spend time doing so. Paralysis by analysis could become a problem, making us inefficient and hesitant in making a decision. As an administrative assistant, you may face times when you have to make a decision on behalf of your manager. Here are some elements on making a decision. You must have 2 or more options existing in order to make a decision. Brainstorming all possible alternatives for each option. Laying the pros and cons of each alternative and its outcome. Narrow down the alternatives to a short list. Evaluate the remaining alternatives for risk, stakeholder impact, and your comfort level, and then decide on an alternative. Monitor the outcome on the selected alternative. Always have a backup plan ready in case the first alternative does not work out. If you are looking to make the perfect decision every time, you may be setting yourself up for a frustrating time. We cannot always predict everything that is going to take place once a decision is made. Careful planning and weighing of options is the best method to reaching a solution. Gut instinct could lead you into trouble. Do not make those kinds of decisions for your manager. It could cost them dearly. Finally, always document your process. This way you have something to refer to when you are asked why you chose that option.